Hello, I'm Mrs. J, and welcome to my math class. Today we're going to cover Chapter 5. So for Chapter 5, finding averages, when you're finding the average of a grade, and this is if all the points are the same, then you can add all of them up and divide by how many there are. So that's if our labs were 10 points each or 20 points each, you could add up all your scores and divide by how many there were if all of them are the same value. When they're not the same value, you find the average. A lot of times they call it a percent average, but if they're not all the same value, you would solve it this way. You add up all your grades, and then you divide by total points rather than how many there are. So total possible points, and then multiply by 100. Course average is when it's weighted, and that's what our class is. Certain things are worth certain percentages, and you times it by its weight and divide by the total. So that's when it's weighted. Let's look at an example. If we have homework and labs, and they're 10 points each. And let's say we have a 10, a 7, an 8, 2 more 10s, a 9, we didn't do one and got a 0, and 1 more 10. So these were all worth 10 points each. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there's 8 of them. So to find the average of homework and labs, we would add all of these up. 10 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 9 plus 0 plus 10. And if you add all of them up, you get 64. And then divide by how many there were, and we get an 8. 8 is the average grade. On homework and labs. Let's write that out since it's at the beginning of a sentence. And so that's what we put. To find the average as a percent, instead of dividing by how many there were, you divide by total points. So we'd add all of them up, which is 64. But then they're worth 10 points each. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And we multiply it by 100 to make it a percent. So if you want the percent, you need to divide by total points rather than how many there are. And when we take this and divide by 80 and multiply by 100, we get 80. So the average percent was 80%. Find exam as a percent. So if an exam was worth 50 points and you received a 48, what percent did you get on the exam? So it was 48, total points was 50, and we multiply by 100 to make it a percent. So 48 divided by 50 times 100 is a 96%. So you get 96% on the exam. Okay, class average for a weighted course. Let's see, what do we want to have? Homework and labs are 20%. Exams are worth 45% for a total of 65%. So we have homework worth and labs are 20%, exams are 45%, that's a total of 65%. To find the class average then, we're going to use the values from the test here and so this one. This was the exam. Homework and lab. So you got 80% on your homework and lab, and that's worth 20% of the course. So we take 0.2 or 20 times our 80. And then we take 0.45 times our 96. And then you divide by your total percent. And multiply by 100. So if we take 0.2 times 80 plus 0.45 times 96, calculating just the top, you get 59.2 over 65 times 100, which gives us a 91%. Another thing we look in this section is grade point averages. So we have courses, say QR, English, weather, and psych. Then we need a row to total. Well, the first thing we want is the credits for the course. And the credits are 3, 3, 4, 4, and 14. And then the grades. So we need to know what grades we got. Well, let's say we got an A, a B, an A, and a C. We need to find the quality points. It's running out of room. Okay. Well, to find the quality points, we first need to find out what these grades are worth. Now, if you look in your book, it has a an A plus, an A minus, a B plus, a B minus. Well, YSU doesn't do that. So we're going to go with YSU's grade point average. You either have an A, which is 4 points each, a B is 3, a C is 2, a D is 1, and if you get an F, you get no points for it. So this A is worth 4 points each. The B is worth 3. C, this is another A, 4, and the C is worth 2. So each of these 3 points are worth 4 each. You multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 2, 8. So just multiply across. Then you want to add down. We need to know how many quality points there were, which is 45. And we added down here 6, 10, 14. So then your grade point average is your quality points divided by total credits. So 45 divided by 14 is 3.21. So if you had this report card, your grade point average would be a 3.21. Suppose next semester you have 16 credits. What GPA do you need for a 3.4 combined GPA? So we want to try and bring our grade point average up to a 3.4. What do we need the next semester so we can do that? Maybe you need a scholarship and you have to have your grade point average up to a 3.4. Well, to do that, we know that our quality points, we take our grade point average. So this 3.21 was for 14 credits. Now we're taking 16 credits, but we don't know what that grade point average is yet. But we know that when we divide by our total credits, we want to have a 3.4. So if we take the credits times this grade point average, that gives us our total quality points. To get the quality points here, 16 times the grade point average. Then we divide by the total credits. And we want that to equal a 3.4. So you definitely have to work with your algebra here. First, we'll multiply these two together. 14 times 3.21, and you get 44, and never round until the end. So we have 4.94 plus the 16 grade point average over 30. Now, we want to solve, we're trying to get grade point average by itself. When you have a fraction, you're dividing, multiply. That way the 30s cancel, but what you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So 3.4 times 30 is 102. We're still trying to get grade point average by itself, so we'll subtract the 4494 to the other side. So we have 16 GPA equals 102 minus 44.94 is 5706. Still trying to get this by itself. Since this is being multiplied, we divide by the 16, and our GPA equals 3.57. So if we want to bring our grade point average up to a 3.4, these 16 credit hours, we need a 3.57 to do that. But that's everything in Chapter 5.